Team reports what we went on before. Okay, so you've got staff. Oh, we've got a lot of staff at Inter. A lot of staff. The first thing I'll do when I'm going to staff is I'll go to board. And I'll go to, where does it say? Inter coaching staff. So you can see at the minute I've got 6 and I can have 8. And this will basically just give you a breakdown of what you can have and what you can't have. So for example, physio, they've actually got 2 more than what they should do, but I'm not going to change that because I don't want to get rid of anybody. I'd rather have more than less. Again, see there, what's that? Under 18 coaching staff, 8-5. It's a bit silly. And then you can see your scouts as well. So I've actually got more scouts than is what's advised as well. So it's just worth having a look at that, see what numbers you can get in. And obviously I've just found out from that I can have 2 more coaches. So if I wanted to, I could go into here and add some more coaches. In terms of the staff, Inter have got really good scouts. I know that already. He's not actually that good, but yeah, most of them are going to be pretty good. So just have a little bit of a flick. You can flick through them all if you've got the time to do it. And just make sure you've not got anyone who's really, really bad. And then you've got your assistant manager. This guy's okay, he's not great by any stretch of the imagination. And just make sure you select assistant manager or whatever role they are on this side. So yeah, he's not great, but I'm not going to go into getting an assistant manager on this one. Obviously, if I click back on him, they're the stats that you need to look out for. I do like tactical knowledge as well. Not for any particular reason, maybe motivation as well if you're going to let him do your team talks for you. But yeah, ability and potential basically means that when you did the reports, that's his view. So if you want a really good opinion of it and to see whether you want this to be correct, then you're going to have good stats on here. And then man management, presumably it's just keeping the players in order, and maybe they won't moan as much as they might do if they were higher. So we've noticed that we needed 2 more coaching staff we can have. So what I would then do is I would go to training, and you can go to individual and you can set all the individual stuff. I'll do that in a sec. And you've got coaches. So basically this will then select coaches, and the aim is to get these stars as high as possible and to have the coaches workload as average at most. I think if I do, let's see, maybe if I take those 2, no, it's not going to do it. Yeah, they'll basically go to high, or it's light, average, or high. So you just want to keep them as average at max. Don't really need them to be light, it's not the end of the world. So yeah, so I'll just have a look through these, and you can click and you can see the stats on this side as you flick down them. So he's quite a good goalkeeper coach. This guy's not particularly good at anything. He's good at defensive, so he's on defending at the moment. We've got a fitness coach. So one thing I do on this is I'll just flick between the 2 just to see if he's better at one thing than the other. So they're pretty much the same. And then this guy, yeah. So them 2 are 4 stars. And so just to bring it down a touch, and because I've got 3 of them, I don't really want to sack him. I'll just split him so that it's lighter up down here. I don't think it will go to average though, but it might do as I get a few more players in. So that's just how I'll split those. I've got this guy. He's not really that great either. And this guy, well, it's me. And I'm unbelievable at tactics. So I'm going to put myself on tactics. Okay, so let's just have a look at this guy. I mean, you can probably look at his stats and find this out a bit quicker, but I just click across the board and just see. So he's actually all right at pretty much everything. But just to ease the workload, I'm going to use one of these 2 that aren't that great. And I'm just going to split them across just to ease the workload on them. So he's quite good at ball control. Oh, and shooting as well. Let's go for ball control. Okay. So as you can see from the bottom then, once I've selected them, obviously the coach on the goalkeeping, probably going to need another goalkeeping coach maybe to boost these up, because if I untick that, he's actually 4.5 star otherwise. So obviously I want to try and get him to the 4.5 if I can. And then I could maybe do with 2 extra coaches. So that's a bit annoying. I'm going to be 1 short. So what I'll do is I'll go to board, make a request, and I'll go to staff, coaches allowed. It does this on this game now. sometimes does this, so let's try. Yeah, it's going to do it. Maybe tomorrow they'll let me do it. I don't know why he keeps doing that. For some reason in this game, they've ended up doing it. So yeah, we'll just leave the goalkeeper coach as he is for now. But you can basically ask for more coaches, and he might give us another one. And obviously, I can free up that goalkeeping coach, but it's not the end of the world. So as I said before, determination, discipline, motivation, and then whatever it is that you're looking for. So I need an attacking one. So I'll just select the stats from there, and you can see these. So from here you can do the coaching stats. So he's got the best for attacking, but let's just check his mentals. Yeah, he's pretty good. So I think this guy's going to come in, Brazilian, Geraldo Delamore, and go to contract sign, and we'll just give him 3. Oh, make sure that that's right, because obviously he's a manager, so he prefers to be an assistant manager. Nearly made a mistake there. Coaching, coach, and then lock it, because he's probably going to want to be an assistant manager, and he'll keep flicking back to assistant manager if you don't lock it. So let's just do lock, and he'll probably come for 3.6. Yeah, okay. So he's in, and the other position that we wanted, in fact, let's just go back. I think we had a guy. This guy can do shooting, can't he? So we'll leave him as that for shooting. We'll put that guy as attacking, and we'll do ball control. Staff search. And what I'll do is I'll just swap this to technical. And we've got this guy, Enrico Nicolini. Yeah, he looks all right. He's another manager as well. So swap him to coach. And suggest. Probably come for 3. Oh. There you go. So that's those 2 done. And then once they come in, I'll just come back to the screen and then I'll just tick them on ball control and on attacking once they're in. And hopefully that'll then mean that we've got like pretty much 4 and 3 and a bit star at least. And obviously if I can get the goalkeeper coach as well, then that'll go up. Okay, and let's have a look. Okay, so the individual coaching as well is per player you can select a, so let's go to Handanovic. So you can do it from here or you can do it from here, and the difference is that basically you can do an additional focus from here as well, and if you right click on him you can actually do it as well from here. So that's the role and that's the additional focus. So what you can do is, goalkeepers is pretty self-explanatory. He's going to want to train as a goalkeeper. And then if I click on Handanovic, who's actually unbelievable to be honest. I mean, maybe his kicking. His kicking's only 12. So I could do additional focus and do kicking. And I'll just train his kicking as well. What might happen though is that if you've got both going, some players will complain to say they're doing too much, so you might want to just take the additional focus back off and just do it as none. And then obviously from a right back, he's playing as a wing back, so I'm going to train him as a wing back, and then they'll basically sometimes they'll suggest underneath what he should do, so I'm going to listen to the coach this time and do agility. And basically you can just go down and just select all of the different ones. I mean, it's enough to just go down like this, so it's pretty quick. You can just literally go, like, he's an advanced forward, going to play him as complete forward, and just literally just do each of them as you go. And that'll basically just, I think if, yeah, you can go to here. So we've done him as an advanced forward, and that'll basically train those stats. I think if you go to development up here, yeah. So if I take that off, it won't do it. But if I put striker, centre, advanced forward, it's basically training those stats more than the rest. So it'll focus on those ones. And then if you do, so let's take that off. And let's say dribbling, he's not the best. It'll focus dribbling there. So yeah, that's basically just an indicator to show you. So if I do them both, obviously dribbling's underneath, but if we did, say, crossing, it'd add crossing onto there. So that's basically how you train your players up. Let's have a look. Yeah, so that's pretty much that screen done, to be honest. You can do a team training from here. I don't really touch this too much, to be honest. You might want to give them a rest before the match as well, but a rest after the match is fine. And this is what comes up throughout the season anyway. So the assistant manager will say, do you want to train something different at the start? At the beginning, you want to do match tactics, because when you go to here, the familiarity is going to be low. So you want them to train on that to try and get that to go up as quick as possible. And you'll notice as well that, I don't know if this was actually on at the start of the game or whether this is on the update, but it'll give you a familiarity of each individual player. So Gabriel Barbosa is actually, I don't know how he's so high compared to the rest, but he is. So like definitely he would be starting at the beginning. So yeah, it's just another thing to look out for. When it comes to doing your friendlies, just what I remembered, I would definitely flick between two teams throughout the friendlies, just so that you can get the, if I do selection info, so you can get the sharpness up. You'll notice as well that when a player gets injured, so like Andrioli's not going to come back, I think he's on 3-month injury, you'll probably have started the season by then. So if you don't really want to play him with 35% because he's going to probably be pretty woeful, so you can right click on him and do available for the under 20 squad, which it's under 20, but they'll allow a couple of older players. You can see that from going to the rules for the under 20 league. And I would just say until match fit, 90 minutes. I mean, you can select that now because when he comes back from injury, it'll happen, but I wouldn't really do it when you're actually red injury, because if they come back from a long-term injury, they'll usually go orange for a while. And while they're orange, they will play them in the under 20s team, which might mean that he gets injured again. Just while we're on this, as a right click, just let me see if there's anything else that's on here. So that's the same. You can actually send on intensive language course from there, which is on training. Is that for Barbosa? Yeah, so you would want to do that for him. Yeah, you can get an individual coach report, just basically goes through, and you can actually do positional abilities down at the bottom here, and it'll tell you how they are in each position. Yeah, and some traits, so tries killer balls often. It's quite a nice little trait to have. And let's try like Kondogbia. 12s on ball. Yeah, that's not the best, to be honest, but yeah, you can see their individual traits from there. Transfer, so you can set the transfer status, loan status, squad status directly from there. You can use these unwanted lists, which is basically that if you set the staff responsibilities as your, well, if someone else basically deals with anyone you put on the unwanted list, then you can just basically put them on here and he'll try and ship them for you, but I like to ship my players by myself, to be honest. You can offer to clubs from here. Contract, yeah, you can mutually terminate from here. You can release on a free, which is the same for the staff. So let's just do someone just to... In fact, who is he? Ballestri. So if I wanted to get rid of Ballestri, he's not that great anyway, to be honest, then you can either terminate his contract, which will cost you more money. I don't really want to click it because I can't remember whether I've took the... Yeah, it's still on. And it'll cost 500,000. Or most of the time with staff, not with players, you can mutually terminate, which he'll agree to, and it'll cost 350. And you just get rid of him, and he'll get sacked. So yeah, so you can do that, and that'll now free up another space. If I go back to here, into coaching staff, actually it won't do it till tomorrow, but that'll basically go down to 5. Okay, so we'll just go through, is that the rest of the player stuff? Yeah, pretty much. You can do like a comparison, so if I wanted to compare, who am I comparing here? So let's do, say, Barbosa, compare with Icardi. Do a comparison, compare their attributes from up here. And you can speak to them, so you can say, this will come up with like warn about recent form and stuff like that. So I found that if they're below like a 6.8 rating on the So not actually here at the minute. Oh, last 5 games, it'll come up with like an average here. If that's below 6.8, usually you can give them a kick up the arse and say that your form's been declining recently, and you can basically tell them to step it up. And if what I've found as well is that it'll boost their morale usually. So the morale. So if you were going to do it and you had like a week to go before the next game, if you did it with the full week to go, so straight after your last game, by the time it gets to the game, the morale have probably gone down one stage. So fairly good might have gone to okay. Whereas if you do it literally the day before the game, you'll get the best out of that conversation that you've had with them. So I'd do it just before the next game that you've got, rather than if they've played really bad in one game, getting too hasty and doing it straight away, which is what I used to do. And I found that that was what happened. So I've actually started doing that recently, is doing it more close. And I found with strikers particularly is that if you say, I've got faith in you to get back to scoring ways, or yeah, your form has been declining recently, they'll pop up with a goal. And I don't know if that's just some sort of like little glitch or whatever, but like sort of 8 times out of 10 they'll pop up with a goal, which is pretty nice.